Now this is the printer, but also works as a scanner and a couple other items as just the copier. But taking the image, this Ambrosia image from there, lifting up the lid to here, and you have the glass plate that finishes there. It's pretty large, but you want to put the image face down, in this case 8.5 by 11, up in the top corner vertical. Makes it the easiest to set up with everything in the presets. Go ahead and scan in your code and type that in to log in. And this will set you with your email as well. So you have copy, the scan in the middle, and the printing is the one that we've done so far. So when you go to the scanner, it'll give you the option to scan to your email. And you can select the email right away. It'll be the one that you just logged in with your PCC account. When you go into the options, it gives you this window to the right, and it shows you a couple. You can go to just black and white. It'll automatically auto look for that, but I'm just going to click full color. If it does gray, then you just have to change in Photoshop when you go through there. The resolution gives you the pixels, and the default is 300, which is fine because that's a high resolution for it. The paper size with letter, and then the format default is a Acrobat file for PDF. I'm just going to click on JPEG. Gives me that option, and then just hit start. And you'll hear it scan through, and it'll tell you that you've done one page. You can do more than one at a time and just start sending it. And that's all there is to it. This is sent to your email account. Just go ahead and close it. You can log off, take off the image. Don't forget your artwork, and place it in there just as that goes out. That's very simple. And then you just go back and look in your email for the JPEG. So once you take a look at your email, you'll see the image, and clicking on it just to download it, you'll see the file created. Open your downloads folder, and you'll see the image given the title of the printer stay up there. So I'm just going to right click on this and open with, in this case, Photoshop. And the image will pop up. It's a vertical format, 8.5 by 11. It's to the side of this, so I'm just going to go to image, and you'll see they have the image rotation, and just go clockwise, counterclockwise, all these different rotations, and it gives me this image to work from. And this is the file. So when you take a look, this is the image black and white. When you take a look at image mode, just to take a look, the reason it's RGB is that I put it for all color when I selected the file size and the color in the scanner. If you just did it auto, it would look at this as black and white, and you would have index color or grayscale, and just have to modify it in order to color this. Okay? So when you take a look at how close this is, you can kind of see the pixels. You can see the overall coloring of this still has some gray pixels, white pixels on either side. And what you want to do is do a little bit of the levels from there. From the distance, not too bad, looks perfect. But when you zoom in, you might want to have this be a solid black line. So I'll keep it close up on this line, and go to Image, Adjust, and go to Levels. And what this does, it shows you what they call a histogram. Histogram is just the colors from 0 to 256. It says 55, but there's actually 256 colors to choose from. And it shows the left is the black slider, indicating that the solid black pixels are minimal, the white pixels are up here, and the midtones right here. So as you drag this across, you're taking whatever pixel was here and saying that's going to be the black pixel. So you can see as I drag this across how dark all the pixels that used to be light gray start to become really nice and sharp. This part that has a little bit of the gray pixels on the other side of the white, I'm just going to move across. And the closer I take, so this steep incline shows me that the whitest pixel's here, but I want to kind of slide it over just to get rid of those gray pixels there. And the more I do it, the crisper it becomes. And you can adjust this to make that. So you now have a little bit more of a black and white outline based off of that. So when you take a look at the drawing, that's what it was, and this is what it was before. When I undo it, you can see the difference. Command Shift and Z and bring it right back. This just shows the grid of the pixels in there. So that gives that piece, and it's on this layer right here. So now I have this section that I can then color, and I'll just do a couple but then do the rest on the video that came up. So when you take a look at the coloring that goes through with this, you have all the color choices here. And like I said, if you, in Photoshop, you can do this real easy. If you do swatches, that's one way to do it. You have the gradients to pick from, all these different particular pieces, but the coloring makes it a little bit easier to illustrate in there. So when you go up to here, you can do the color palette and keep that palette. Now all these palettes I have listed here, I can place in there nice and easy with the gradients and such, and the palette shows up. So now if I pick this, so I go from choosing the color, and if I hit the gradient tool, it has the paint bucket tool, which makes it easier to fill in. And up at the top it says all the layers contiguous, everything that's in there. So if I decide to illustrate this, wherever the arrow goes, that's where the color is. If I hit the cap lock key, it will change, but this gives me a little bit of a beginning coloring for that particular section there. And the brightness of the color, kind of putting that into that section there. So it's a quick, easy way to set up inside the color palettes. So it's just trying to show you this particular piece there. The eyedrop tool, if you see a color that you like, you can just select it right up on the screen there, and it'll give you that that particular piece. And go from there. And that gives you that piece. So you can see as you can go into the coloring of all the lettering and everything that's there, gives you a certain beginning part, and the layer is just a color layer over the top that you can actually paint and manipulate as you go. So just a beginning from the image scanned in all the way into the levels that you have to bring that image onto your screen. This image, just again using the builder to put in all the different segments with the lettering, coloring it in, and you have the basis ready to go.